having you, my friend. Before we begin, I got a message to send to you. I was just speaking with the Godfather, Maestro Fresh West, who did not know about your show. So he said he's going to be in Toronto in the midsummer. He's going to try to make it down to that. He wanted to make sure that he said hello and congratulations on this.
Nice. That's my brother right there. That's like the big bro. One second. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. I don't know why you're fiddling around with this. We're
No,
good.
I'm getting notifications coming up about connection
Don't listen to
drama.
them. I will let you know if there's any. I just gave you a hello from the Godfather who just got
Yes,
inducted into the
I know,
Canadian
I
Music Hall of
know.
Fame, and you're fussing around with screens and stuff.
No, no, big up to the big bro Maestro, man. That's a big deal. I tried to invite him out to the opening night, and I know he's all over the place. So yeah, hopefully now that we've secured, just to let you know, so the show is now going to be the last Thursday of every month, just once a month now. So hopefully he'll have a chance to come down at one of the spots, this summer. So, but that's a big shout out, big up to Maestro, man. This guy is like the icon, the legend in this country, man. So big up to Maestro.
Yeah, you're turning into a legend yourself, my friend. And what you
Thanks, man.
and Sean Jones is doing are both
Yes.
doing and bringing back the R&B flavor of back in the day. For folks who don't know what the show is about, and
Yes.
and how it came about. Talk about that, please. And actually, what it's actually called.
Okay, so the show is called Soul Nostalgic. The event is Soul Nostalgic Live. And how it began was, I'm a big fan, obviously, of Usher and New Edition, and I'm loving the fact that they have these Las Vegas residencies going on. And me and my fiance were like, looking at the dates and seeing when we can book a flight and hotel and try to arrange stuff to try and go to Vegas and see these shows. And we're like, okay, so if we're wanting to go see these shows so badly, and so it's hard for us to schedule and flights and hotels, and imagine, so it must be similar for other people that love this genre and that would love to go see a show like this. So I was like, what if there was something like this here in Toronto that still gave you, the Vegas style feel and the tuxedos and the sophistication of Vegas, the big show production of Vegas, but if it could be provided here in Toronto. So that's where it kind of started. And the fact that we couldn't go anywhere in the city to see something quite like this. So that's what kind of sparked the idea. And I think I bounced it off of scratch, starting from scratch maybe 2 years ago. And he was like, bro, if you do that, let me know. I'm down. He's like, I'm down to build this with you. So shout out to Scratch. He was at the last one that was actually sold out, and he upgraded the whole production. So he's now part of the ensemble also. But what the show is, to answer the question, is it's an immersive R&B throwback show with full choreography, full band. Big up to the Recipe Band, who is my backing, like the backbone to this whole show. Shout out to Mark Samuels, who is the legend choreographer who choreographed my dancers and myself, got me moving again. Um, and he's a big part of, the image of what the show is, like the choreography and the dancing. Like, we don't just perform on stage. Myself, the band, and the dancers, we come down off the stage. We're in people's face. We're at your table. We're gonna maybe, give you a little twirl, ladies, get you off your feet, give you a little twirl, and kind of really, it's a very immersive show. I got my sax player, Evan Porter, who's now been added to the last show. He was just joined the last show. And it's an immersive show. He's blowing that horn right in your face. Yeah, like we don't just keep it on the stage. And the way the Aqua Supper Club is built, which is very unique, is they have this risen runway that runs through the whole restaurant. So there's booths and tables connected to this runway. So we can now come off the stage and then go up onto this runway and go into the audience, so they really feel like they're a part of the show. So it's a very immersive show, R&B throwbacks done in an authentic way. I'm doing about 20 songs. The show's about an hour and 20 minutes. It's two 40-minute sets with an intermission, and you come, you have an amazing dinner, and get to take in an amazing R&B throwback show. So
Two
it's going
questions.
well.
Two questions. One, how do you go about choosing the songs? And two, how much weight do you lose every show?
Bro, I don't know if you've seen some of the footage, but I'm
I
sweating my
have.
ass off. I'm not used to wearing tuxedos, to tell you the truth. When I'm in these tuxes, I'm like, oh my God, why did I choose to wear tuxedos every show? But I just love the look of the whole tuxedo, black and white tuxedos. But yeah, man, I'm dancing like crazy. The amount of water that leaves my body per show at the intermit. So I start the show. By the intermission, I have to change completely because I'm soaked. And then by the end of the second set, I have to completely change so I can take pictures and stuff after the show. But yeah, man, it takes a lot of energy. By the end of the show, I am exhausted. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm dancing with these two, 25-year-old kids next to me, and they're, keeping me up. But but I'm trying to keep up with them, man.
And how about the songs? How do you go about choosing the songs? And what eras
Yeah.
are we looking at?
Yes. Okay. So we're going from the 70s to the early 2000s. But most of the stuff I would say that I would choose from the 70s is more leaning towards the funk soul. Like I'm changing the set list for this next show a little bit. There's still going to be some
Mhm.
of the same songs, but I've added some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let's
Mm.
Groove Tonight. That's going to actually open the show. I've so it's kind of from the 70s. It's more funk soul. When I get into the 80s and 90s, it's a lot more of traditional R&B
Yeah.
from New Edition to BBD to Bobby Brown. I do a little bit of actually, sorry, before that, because the show goes in sequences. So I start from the 70s and I go all the way through to the early 2000s, kind of in that order. So I would start with, like I said, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Luther Vandross, Never Too Much was actually in the last show. And then, like I said, move into New Edition, Bobby Brown, BBD. But then as it moves on more, I go into like Joe, I go into Carl Thomas. Then I take it more into the 2000s, more towards like Aaliyah, Usher, Neo, Next. So I kind of move it through that sequence, and each show will have a little bit of a variation and a little bit of changes in it. So if you come to one show, like there's some people that may have come to the opening night, when they come to the show this Thursday, they're gonna be like, oh, whoa, this is something different. So I try to keep it interesting, but always keep it funky, give it always has that little edge to it, but still always sophisticated, well dressed, and just immersive with that energy, keeping it on 10.
What is the challenge for you when you know that we've already attached ourselves to these great classic old school songs? What's the challenge for you to make sure that you give them justice and maybe even your own spin that we're still going to enjoy, but not turn around and go, hey, what do you do to that song, man? I made babies to that song, and you're
Right?
gonna go and ruin it. How do you make sure that does not happen?
Like I'm a fan first of these songs too. So I've tried to take myself out and be that biased critic at the same time when we're putting the show together. But I think why the show works is it's the idea of doing some of these songs. Just the
Mhm.
idea alone, if executed properly, it's just the idea of being able to take in these songs in this way and in this type of setup that gives it a different kind of vibe to it. Like I've never seen anyone perform, say, Tony, Tony, Tony Feels Good live with full choreography. And that song in the 90s was like huge. But I find it's almost like people forget how big it was until they see it and hear it again. right? It's like, oh, yo, I used to love this song. Like I forgot how much I love this song. So I'm taking a chance, still touching on these classics, and hopefully I'm giving them justice. Based on the feedback, I think I'm doing okay. But it's it is a challenge, but the way Mark Samuels choreographs these dance steps, it catapults you back in time. Like it takes you back in time. I didn't want to, like, when we were putting the show together, we're like, should we mix in some current beats right now and merge current beats with the old, and yeah, you're right, you see,
Yeah.
or merge these new dance moves with some of the old. I'm like, no, 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 let's take them. We want to transport you back, so yeah, it's definitely taking a chance. There's certain songs I haven't touched on yet because I'm like, oh my goodness, these types of classics, I don't know if I want to touch it or not. So I'm still kind of tiptoeing through the whole set list and making sure I can do them justice. But such as adding Earth, Wind, and Fire, Let's Groove Tonight to this next set. We put a lot of work into, how the beginning it starts with down the boogie, down, 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 down the boogie. So I was like, okay, we can't sample that off of the song and put it in the show. We have to actually do it with the voice quarter, so it is the exact authentic sound of how they did that intro. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
these are the little extra steps that I'll take to keep the authenticity of the sound of that era.
I can only imagine what it must be like to try to come up with a song, know that it's a song you'd love to sing, but the challenge of singing it, like as you were speaking, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he could do Rick James, Tina Marie, Fire and Desire in some way.
Woo!
But what a challenge that would be, because everybody
Yeah,
knows the live version to that
yeah.
song. So I say big up to you for even taking on this role. Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's intense. It's a lot to take on, but I find that this is when I'm in my this is when I do my best, is when
Yeah.
I'm presented with this kind of challenge, and it keeps it exciting. And that's kind of where I want to keep things exciting when it comes to just being an artist in this industry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the music industry has changed so much, and like I've mentioned in other interviews, I'm not very fond of the business model when it comes to putting out new music now and streaming and all this kind of, I call it weird kind of foolishness when it
Yeah.
comes to how much artists get paid per stream. And I'm like, I really wanted to find out where I can still, do my passion, but where I can fit and make my own lane and kind of create my own opportunities. Because I went a long time going along with just the changes in the industry. And okay, we got to deal with streaming now. Okay, we got to pay $15,000 to get on playlists on Spotify, and
Mm.
we just got to roll with it. And as time went on, I'm like, no, there's got to be something else. And yeah, so when I did the research on, okay, well, what are the highest, in say R&B on Spotify, what are the highest streamed types of songs on Spotify? And without a doubt, about 70% of R&B that's streamed on Spotify is throwbacks,
Yeah,
right?
and if I can jump in, and again,
Yeah.
I'm not going to disrespect the artists of today, but
No, definitely
I
not.
saw I saw an interview. Somebody was talking about this, and they said that, and of course, I've said this many a time. Back in the day, it talked about love, respect, relationships,
Yeah.
breakups. Like really gave a feeling of what they were saying in their words. Where today people are saying words are just to rhyme with other ones, or it's about you know
Yeah.
this, or it's
Yeah.
there's no, and I can use the word essence in what the songs and the lyrics are saying. And I think
Yeah.
that's where, when you come in, you help remind us why those songs are the most listened to and played on Spotify.
Yes, yes. Like I've seen, like I was saying, like there's been a real plunge in streams of current R&B music. Like the numbers are just dropping. I think they're down about 40 or 50%. They've dropped, and throwback songs are keep rising, rising, rising. Like they're not stopping. I think Earth, Wind and Fire. My cat's trying to bother me. I think Earth, Wind and Fire's September is at like I don't know how much billion streams. Like, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up because there's a people feel this form of I'm going to use the word nostalgic. Like it's like and based on that word, which is why I called the group Soul Nostalgic, is because it's like the word nostalgic means it's like we're there's a little bit of a sadness to it based on how much we miss that vibe from the past. And that's really what nostalgic is. It's like missing the past and longing for it. You know what I mean? So
Look, that's why I wear this. You can't really see. This is a Michael Jackson shirt,
MJ.
Yes, and this is a very old Hard Rock Cafe hat, Toronto, that doesn't exist in Toronto anymore. And so I completely hear what you're saying, man, because we lost out. So thank you for bringing that back. So we have a show as we speak right now, and when this gets posted, we have a show happening this Thursday. What is going to be happening this Thursday? So here's the promo.
Yes, this Thursday, man, it's going down. I'm excited. The last show was a month ago. This is when we've kind of decided that we're going to make it a once a month thing. So we have enough time for people to, get their babysitters and book off, work if you need to book off the Friday, or tell your boss you want to come in a little later Friday because we're going to have the show on Thursday night. But it kind of gives people time to plan. And so yeah, this Thursday, like I said, is going to be some upgrades, going to be some changes. We've made the show start a little bit later so people have enough time to get home from work, have dinner, deal with their home stuff, and make it down to Acqua Supper Club for this immersive show. And yeah, man, like I said, we added Evan Porter, the new sax player. We got some new music. We have some new choreography and interesting changes to the show. So, I'm just urging people to come down and try something new. This is something brand new, at the age that we're at, nightclubs aren't the same vibe. This is something else. This is, I've spoke to many men my age, and they're tired of the nightclubs, but they still want a spot where it's still mature, but it still has this cool kind of vibe to it where you don't feel like, you're kind of, that your time has passed. You know what I'm saying? We're still vibrant and want to have some drinks and have a good meal and take it an amazing R&B show. So come down this Thursday. If you can't make it this Thursday, we're going to be doing, like I said, the last Thursday of every month. The next one will be May 30th. So have you haven't come to a show yet?
Not yet. But I have to. But I'm coming. But here's the thing. One thing as we're wrapping this up, I want to remind people of A, you never know who's in the audience, and B, I heard a rumor that a certain former member of In Essence may be in the audience this Thursday. Not going to give any names, but I heard through the grapevine that a certain somebody may be there. So you never know what is going to happen with this show.
Yeah, actually, there may be two members that may be in the audience this week. So, yeah, won't name any names, but last show, we were Keisha Shante, graced us with her presence. I've known Keisha since she was a little kid, since she was 14, when she was just signed to BMG, when In Essence was signed to BMG.
I remember, man.
Yes, so she came through. Shout out to Maestro Fresh West. He's hopefully going to be coming through to one of the shows coming up. So big up to my big bro Maestro, the Godfather. So you never know who's going to be in the audience. Julie Black has been inquiring, like, yo, Drew, what is this? Like, this looks kind of cool, type of thing. So yeah, I'm trying to get everyone out. Trying to get Glenn Lewis out. Hopefully he'll be out soon. the boy Cardi. I'm gonna be getting Cardi out very soon. Also, Rochester. The list goes on. So never know who might pop up.
How do we get tickets?
Get tickets at soulnostalgic.com. It's very, very simple. We have limited booths left, so booths are going fast. We may have one booth left that seats about 8 people, but we still have tables available. And at the door, you can pay $35 at the door for standing room. But get your tickets because they're going fast. So soulnostalgic.com.
Fantastic. My brother, thank you so much. And we'll see you at the show.
Rudy, thank you, brother, always.